With Minecraft 1.17 Caves and Cliffs Part 1 finally being released, I figured I would make a bit of a different video. In this video, I'll be looking back at the 1.17 development cycle and going over some of the strangest and craziest glitches. I won't be including any bugs from any released versions of the game, so nothing that's present in 1.16.5 or prior releases, nor any bugs that haven't been patched yet. Basically, I'll only be going over the bugs that were introduced in the 1.17 snapshots, then immediately patched. I also won't be going over any bugs for 1.18 features, even though some were in the 1.17 snapshots at a point. It's important to remember though, that's kind of what snapshots are for, rooting out bugs introduced with new features or changes. Basically, the glitches that I cover in this video will have never been experienced by a majority of players, but that doesn't make them any less weird or insane. Starting off for number 10, we have some very dumb slimes. Now, slimes are notorious for being the dumbest mob in Minecraft, but after snapshot 21W20A, they were even dumber. You see, ordinarily, all slimes do is bounce around and chase a nearby target, such as the player or an iron golem. They don't even pathfind around obstructions and hazards or fight back against any other mob that attacks them. In these snapshots though, they didn't even target players or iron golems. They kind of just completely ignored everything else altogether. Even if you attacked them, they would just continue bouncing on their merry way. Now, don't be fooled though, these slimes were still dangerous, as like normal, touching them would still cause damage. Oh, and this bug also affected magma cubes, which also wouldn't target players or iron golems. Like all bugs on this list though, it has been fixed. As of 1.17 pre-release 2, they will once again try to hunt you down, though they are still pretty stupid. And for number 9, we have an accidental hardcore glitch. Hardcore is a game mode where you only have one life. Once you die, you can never respawn. Starting with snapshot 21W18A, something similar could occur in regular survival worlds. If you somehow died or were killed in another portal, the game would get into a soft lock state and not allow you to respawn, or even quit. Now, this wouldn't be so bad if you were in single player and managed to manually crash the game quickly, since that would roll back the game to before you died. However, if you did not or were a multiplayer, you would be permanently trapped in that nether portal, unable to ever respawn. The only way out of this situation would be to have somebody else break the nether portal, or for you to use an external program to edit your MBT data. Thankfully for everyone though, this glitch was patched in 21W28, so you'll never have to deal with losing your world to death, unless you're actually playing hardcore. And for number 8, we've got infinite power from lightning rods. Lightning rods are a new 1.17 block that are supposed to attract lightning in a 128 block radius and then be powered for 4 redstone ticks when struck. However, when lightning rods were first added in snapshot 20W45A, if you pulled or pushed a lightning rod as it was being struck by lightning, it would become permanently powered until struck by lightning again. Unlike most other bugs on this list, this one was relatively harmless, since this normally wouldn't occur by accident. It was also the only movable way to hard power blocks, which could have been super useful in certain redstone contraptions. This glitch was a lot similar to another glitch from a few years back with observers becoming a permanent power source after being pushed, though observers were fixed and so too are lightning rods now. As of 21W19A, lightning rods will now depower after being pushed. I guess the redstone community will have to wait a while until we get a redstone component that can do similar. And for number 7, we have possessed shulker boxes. Shulker boxes are a very important late game tool for carrying around large quantities of items. Shulker boxes closely resemble shulkers, the mob you need to kill to get the shulker shells needed to craft shulker boxes. Now, while shulker boxes are supposed to resemble shulkers in appearance, they aren't supposed to act like them. That was a problem in snapshot 20W45A. In this first 1.17 snapshot, shulker boxes would attempt to mimic a nearby shulker. Now, they didn't shoot shulker bullets, but they would sync their opening and closing animations with those of the shulker, though this strangely did not change their hitbox. Not only would this affect shulker boxes placed in the world, it would also affect those in inventories and item frames. Weirdly, if you stopped rendering the shulker or killed the shulker, the animation of all shulker boxes would be stuck on the last one the shulker had until you got near another shulker. This very strange bug was fixed in 20W46A, so you won't have to worry about random shulkers controlling your shulker boxes. And for number 6, we actually have multiple bugs involving axolotls. This entry is a bit different since it involves more than one glitch, but because they all involve the same mob, I'll make an exception. Axolotls are one of 3 brand new mobs introduced in 1.17. They can move around on water and inland, but like dolphins, they can only be on land for so long before needing to go back in water or drying out and dying. When they were first added in snapshot 20W51A, they were, well, very buggy. 2 such bugs were that if you picked up an axolotl with a bucket, you could change its color, and axolotls would not attack Elder Guardians. Both were patched in 21W13A. Other bugs that plague them include axolotls getting stuck and spinning on lily pads and waterlogged blocks, axolotls glitching out in boats, and axolotls playing dead without an entity attacking them. It's a good thing for axolotls that all of these bugs were fixed in 21W20A, so now axolotls are completely bug-free. And for number 5, we have structures that can break bedrock. This entry is a lot like the last one since it involves multiple bugs, but I'm again making an exception since they are all very similar. Obviously, bedrock is supposed to be completely unbreakable and impassable. However, sometimes structures can overwrite bedrock, and the 1.17 snapshots had some cases of this. Starting in 20W45A, amethyst geodes could generate through the bedrock at the bottom of the world, which created large holes into the void. In snapshot 21W11A, fossils could also generate through bedrock and make large holes into the void. Both were eventually fixed in snapshot 21W20A, although the fossil glitch had to be patched a second time since coal ore from the fossils could still generate through the bedrock. And for number 4, we have glow-lichen alchemy. Now, the Nether is supposed to be an extremely hot dimension, where nothing cold or wet can exist. Water instantly evaporates, wet sponges dry out, snow golems die, snow and ice. While those two exist with no problems, the Nether doesn't exactly follow perfect logic. However, as I mentioned before, water is absolutely not supposed to exist in the Nether in any way, except in cauldrons. When glow-lichen was introduced in snapshot 21W03A though, it was a bit problematic. You see, glow-lichen is able to be waterlogged, like many other blocks. Unlike many other blocks, glow-lichen was originally able to convert lava it was placed in into water. That allowed glow-lichen to create water in the Nether through the transmutation of lava. This could create all kinds of chaos, since water easily spreads, and there is a lot of lava in the Nether that could be made into obsidian. It could have also been useful to make item streams and bubble column elevators in the Nether, though none of that matters now, as the glitch was patched in 21W05A. And for number 3, we have burned shulker box duping, yet another glitch involving shulker boxes. Now, there are 2 bugs for this one, but they're both basically the same thing. Both bugs are from 20W51A and involve burning a shulker box to dupe its contents. In one bug, all you have to do is throw a shulker box into a lava cauldron, and its contents are duped. In the other, you throw the shulker box into 2 fire blocks. Both of these were powerful duplication glitches that could be infinitely repeated just by duping shulker shells and chests to make more shulker boxes. You just had to be careful not to burn the items you were duplicating. These powerful dupes were patched in 21W03A, so there's no way to exploit them anymore. Before I move on, I just want to mention 2 other duplication glitches: amethyst duping through moving amethyst clusters with a piston, and pointed dripstone duping through the use of a glitched tall stalactite. Both of these glitches have also since been patched. There was also bundle duping, but bundles are on a 1.17 feature, so I won't go over it. And for number 2, we have the Mega End. Over the years, there have been many glitches which have broken end cities. However, there has never before been a glitch that broke end cities by making them generate too close to world height. Here's how that happened. In snapshot 21W13A, the ends generation became a little wonky, with all terrain generating extremely tall. Due to this bug, the obsidian platform and all obsidian towers would generate underground, and so could end gateways. The enfoundment was unaffected and still generated on top of the island. The extreme terrain, of course, was not restricted to the main end island. The outer end also had the same tall islands, which is why end cities were cut off by world height. This definitely has to be one of the neatest bugs ever in the game, as it made the end's generation much more interesting. However, end cities were still broken by this, so it's a good thing it was patched in 21W14A. The only reason this entry did not get the number 1 spot is because I've talked about it before in one of my snapshot review videos, and I wanted something new for number 1. But before I get to number 1, let me first go over some honorable mentions. Headless drip leafs, drip leaf bedrock breaking, non-solid moss blocks, no iron ore generating, nether sealing fossils, and no enchanting. And finally, for number 1, we have web developers being spelled as WED developers. No, I'm just kidding. For number 1, we have the BARREN NETHER. As you're most likely aware, the previous major update was 1.16, the NETHER update. How ironic is it then that the first snapshot for 1.17 undoes a major part of the previous update with a glitch? In this snapshot 20W45A, there were no large fungi, no nether plants, and no rough basalt deltas terrain. 3 out of the 4 new nether biomes were severely impacted by this glitch. The Soul Sand Valley biome, though, was the only one completely unaffected. The entire nether looks like a shell of its former nether update glory. Honestly, this is such a simple bug, yet so devastating, and the reason I gave it the number 1 spot was because of how funny the first snapshot of 1.17 breaking 1.16 is. Obviously, this bug was fixed very fast in the next snapshot, 20W46A. And that's the whole video. I was trying a different style with this video, so make sure to let me know in the comments what you thought of it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, as it helps the video out a lot. Also, be sure to come back for my next video. With all that said, I'm the Last Wanderer, thanks for watching, and goodbye.